The Formula One world has been rocked again, this time by a surprising statement from Scuderia Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur after the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix. In a post-race interview that immediately grabbed attention, Vasseur clearly revealed the internal conditions of the team, hinting at serious tensions and problems that, if not addressed immediately, could destroy Ferrari's entire ambitions for this season. What exactly is going on behind the scenes in Maranello, and how deep is the crisis? Let's discuss it. At the beginning of the season, Ferrari was touted as Red Bull's main rival for the World Championship. With the talented driver duo of Charles Leclerc and seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, as well as the new SF25 car, expectations were high. However, the results of the Japanese GP showed once again that Ferrari was not ready to fight at the front. Leclerc finished in fourth place, while Hamilton only managed P7, a result that may look solid on paper, but for a team like Ferrari it was just a form of damage limitation, aka minimizing losses. Instead of fighting for the podium, they are now busy fixing the fundamental weaknesses that continue to plague their cars. The most shocking statement came from Vasseur himself, who said that F1 could now turn into a qualifying championship. In other words, the starting position now determines the final result of the race, because the possibility of overtaking is very limited. Track position is everything. If you can't get to the front in qualifying, it's very difficult to win on Sunday, said Vasseur. That comment came after the top 6 drivers at Suzuka finished in the same positions as they started, without a single significant change. Even Lando Norris, trying to catch Max Verstappen, never got into DRS range. Ferrari was stuck in a gray zone, not fast enough to catch the race leader, but far enough ahead of the still under construction Mercedes. More worryingly, it was revealed that Hamilton's car had been experiencing serious technical problems since the beginning of the season. Key components in his car were showing poor performance and, ironically, were not clearly identified until the team arrived in Japan. This means that for the last 3 full races, Hamilton has unwittingly been battling his own car, not just his rivals on the track. Ferrari had tried to solve the problem by adjusting the ride height to avoid a possible disqualification due to worn boards, as happened at the Chinese GP. Unfortunately, this solution had a negative impact on the SF25's aerodynamic performance, especially in terms of grip. As a result, the car became difficult to control, especially on fast tracks like Suzuka, which require a balance between precision and high speed in the corners. The car just doesn't have anything left to give, complained a weary Hamilton after the race. I feel like I did the best I could, but I'm just too far behind. The statement reflected deep frustration not only over the unsatisfactory performance, but also over the lack of effective communication and slow technical response from the Ferrari team. The issue highlights an internal dynamic that is not yet fully solidified, and raises big questions about the direction of the team's future development. Charles Leclerc has had a challenging season with Ferrari, with performance often up and down and difficult to predict. Although he managed to score statistically better results than his teammate Lewis Hamilton, it was not enough to make him a real threat at the front. Rarely dominant, Leclerc often found himself stuck in the middle of the grid or losing momentum at crucial moments. One of the main reasons for this inconsistency lies in the characteristics of Ferrari's car this season, the SF25, which is considered very sensitive to changes in ride height. This sensitivity makes the process of tuning the car very complicated and inconsistent from one race weekend to another. As a result, both Ferrari drivers struggled to find the optimal setup, and the car's performance became very dependent on the track conditions and temperature on race day. Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur admitted that the team's problems were not limited to just one aspect. He emphasized that Ferrari needed to make major improvements in several areas of the car's performance, from increasing downforce for better grip in the corners, to increasing speed on the straights to be able to compete in head-to-head duels, to widening the car's working window, which is currently considered too narrow. The operating window is too narrow, making it very difficult for the car to be competitive in different conditions. The car only works optimally within a certain temperature range and settings, and when conditions are outside these limits, its performance immediately drops drastically. This is obviously difficult, as track and weather conditions vary greatly over the course of a Formula One season. Vasseur added that until the car can consistently deliver maximum performance to both drivers, Ferrari will continue to struggle to compete at the top. At the moment, both Leclerc and Hamilton have not been able to show their true potential due to the limitations of the car. Significant improvements are needed for Ferrari to become a real title contender again. Ferrari's problems are not limited to technical performance. On the strategy side, the team seemed too passive throughout the race at the Japanese GP. There was no attempt to undercut, no gamble on tire selection, and even no variation in tactics between their two drivers. Instead of taking the initiative or creating opportunities, Ferrari simply reacted to the situation on the track. They were not playing chess, they were simply following their opponent's moves. Worse, the radio communication was also a cause for concern. When Hamilton asked, "Where am I slow?" he received vague and unhelpful answers. The situation came to a head during a minor argument over engine brake settings, when Hamilton was heard to reply, "You told me I wasn't doing it for a reason." Moments like this highlight the lack of coordination between the drivers and the technical team. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur acknowledged the situation, saying, "It's not an ideal start to the season." But he added that there are still 21 races on the calendar. Technically, there is still time to improve. But if Ferrari continues to show slow reactions and reactive strategies, they risk losing momentum early and falling further behind in the title fight. To salvage a challenging 2025 season, Ferrari must take concrete and strategic steps immediately. One of the top priorities is to resolve the setup issues with Lewis Hamilton's car. As world champion, Hamilton needs a car capable of competing at the front, not just in the middle of the grid. If these issues are not addressed soon, Hamilton's immense potential could be wasted and Ferrari will lose one of its most important assets in the title race. Charles Leclerc also needs a stable and competitive car, not only as a tool to withstand pressure from other teams, but also as a weapon to attack and win. Ferrari cannot afford to give Leclerc a car that is only capable of defending. He needs something that can consistently put him on the podium. Coordination between the drivers and the pit wall also needs serious attention. Clear, fast, and effective communication must be a priority, because in modern racing, good strategy is often won by the quality of coordination. Ferrari must ensure that communication is a decision-making tool, not a hindrance that actually hurts the team at crucial moments. Finally, the approach to race strategy, especially in qualifying, needs to be more aggressive. In the current era of Formula One, the starting position is very important in determining the outcome of the race. Therefore, Ferrari must adopt a bold and tactical strategy to secure the best position from the start in order to control the race, rather than just reacting to other teams. If all these steps can be implemented consistently and without compromise, Ferrari still has a great chance to turn things around and make the 2025 season a momentum for revival. With two of the world's best drivers at the wheel and the support of almost unlimited resources, Ferrari theoretically has all the elements to become a dominant force on the grid again. However, in the world of racing, potential is just an empty promise if it is not realized with consistency, perfect execution, and precise strategy. The 2025 season is not one that leaves room for mistakes, no matter how small. In an era where championships can be decided on a Saturday and victories can come down to milliseconds, the pressure on every decision is incredibly high. The question now is simple, but powerful. Can Ferrari finally break the cycle of failure and restore the glory once so closely associated with its name? Write your opinion.